taking the auto projection area, so bringing it together so that it only projects the area that I want specifically. And again, this process will be all automated. You just use the map user. But a good reason here why you may want to use this kind of workflow is maybe you don't want to auto photo the entire area, right? If you want a specific area, and then you have the option to be able to actually come in and reduce these squares so that you only project the area that you need to project. So once you're ready, you hit estimate. It tells you approximately how big the 2D image will be. So in this case, it was about 86,000 pixels by 86,000 pixels. That's a massive map, but you can always shrink it down if you need to. So when that's done, you go ahead and you hit, it's almost there. You see, render. In this case, I'm reduce the values, and you render. Then start calculating the orthographic projection. So the end, what it would look like, once it's done, you would have auto projection. You need to change the view to 2D. Oh, there you go. So this is your 2D georeference map. As you can see, this is the target that we captured with the drone. We'll just release back. Now maybe reduce the speed of this video a little bit so we can see how your 2D view, once those projections completed, and you can see your map. Now you can export this map as a PNG, as a TIFF, as a whatever file format you need for imagery. Typically it's GeoTIFF that will have the coordinates of the imagery. You can import it into Google. You can also export a KNZ out of reality capture, reality scan. Sorry. I'll go over just close this right here. We'll go over the export options later on. So this is me just validating of the auto imagery of my GNSS points that I captured. Are they really at the location where I captured that from the map? So you can see, you can check now. So it's going to check out points 17. So it's zooming into right here. You can see right there, essentially just verifying all my ground control points. It's a very high accuracy map. I'm very proud to work with it here. And when you process the data on your end, you definitely want to see how it all comes out. This is the map. And then with this, now you have your map and your 3D model. How do you export? What options do you have? So this video just shows you how to export, data out of reality scan. For 3D models, just to say it out loud, the file formats, there's DEM, there's FBX, there's DXF, there is OBJ. All of these are just different files. Just think about it as a JPEG or a PNG for image. Different file formats to represent the 3D model in whatever program you may want to eventually use them at. So typically I export a .json, which is a file type for 3D tiles. The reason is 3D tiles are very efficient. It's what it does is it splits your 3D model into smaller tiles, so that it's more efficient for streaming and sharing on the web. But this video goes over how you export the data from reality capture once it's ready. Just go ahead and hit workflow, you export, and it gives you all the options. There's auto projection. You can also export it on LAS out of the photogrammetry model, so a point cloud instead of a mesh. You can export maps, read it. So this video kind of goes through.
How big a file is this when you export it?
Oh, it's like 280 megabytes. But that's because it's 86,000 pixels by 86,000 pixels. So if you go back to reality scan and you changed the value to say, okay, I want 60K or 8K or 4K, right? That value will come down. I mean, if you try to print the map, the more resolution, the better, right? But if you're looking at it digitally, there's no point having 86,000 by 86,000 now. But that's just the actual size, based on the drone quality and the camera on the drone,
Is
right?
there a way for you to protect your work? Can you copyright this? Can you, when you share it, I mean, it's sort of like, once it gets out on the internet, it's free game. But, this is, if you said this took hours to process, and going out and flying a drone and doing all this work, I mean, obviously, you're gonna get compensated for it some way. Is there a watermark that you put on this, or?
Well, there are ways to put watermark on maps if you wanted to. I mean, I haven't personally done this, but like with blockchain now, maybe some smart guy could find a way to maybe, I don't know, put maps on the contract somehow, like a smart contract. But that's a good point. Like, how do you, maintain the authenticity of the originality of the map? So who owns it? But typically, with the survey or workflow, they put it on the sheets, put a stamp in there, it's mine. But in terms of protecting it online, I mean, I feel like once it's out there, it's out there. Yeah, so just don't, or share it with people that you really trust. And it's the reason why, when you think about some of these sensitivities around flying drones through capturing critical infrastructure, it's the reason why we're saying, hey, it's American-made drones, because those data allegedly, and so making sure that platforms you're flying, for instance, are safe, right? Making sure that when you use this cloud processing pipeline, you read the terms and conditions very, very carefully. Because a lot of times, they might be the data for training AI models. That may be something you want, or it may be something you do not want. Sometimes they may say, hey, you want me to upload this software program to our cloud platform, and we have rights to it. That may be something you want, or maybe something you do not. So you just, especially the cloud processing software. So when you're pushing something to the cloud, you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes. You just trust in the company to make sure that your data is safe. So again, back to your question, why I was emphasizing processing locally, why I'm sharing the capture today, in law enforcement, in sensitive data missions, sometimes these cloud missions may not be what you want to do. But if you exceptionally need cloud, you can set up your own cloud environment and just install your software there. So that way you're using your own internet, you're using your own servers, the compute is within your own machine, there's no third-party access. But with the cloud processing, it's convenient, but sometimes it may not meet the terms and conditions, and sometimes if they get subject to some kind of malicious attack or a phishing attack or something like that, and their data gets exposed, your data, their data, get a point. So that's why sometimes it's quite important for that specific reason why local might be the way to go if you care about. It doesn't get better than local. If you're just not connected to the internet, your machine is yours. You have to it's not going anywhere unless you put it out there. But when you upload these data sets to the cloud, you're just trusting the security infrastructure of the company. So there's just no way as far as I know, unless anybody else knows, there's any way you could, I guess, put a security lock on that. Maybe as a PDF, but there really isn't. So if you care about security and safety, I think things to care about is what platform are you flying? If you really care about that, what is your security infrastructure? I think that they are adopting the highest standard for cybersecurity. If they are, great. And if possible, don't even connect it onto the internet. Or if you do, make sure you're connecting to a secure network. So if you really care about security, the best way to go about it is, like the gentleman said, do not use Encrypt, set your own base broker, do not connect your drone to the internet, just don't. Because the less access to the internet all of these points of entry are, the more it increases the potential for that data getting in the wrong hands. So offline approach is still one of the best of this kind of conversation. To work in a very secure environment.
Out of curiosity, just if